Hello. How you guys doing? This is good old Grandmaster Revan, and this is the Anonymous Republic Network. This is supposed to be a roundtable, but one of my panel couldn't make it tonight, so hope we have somebody. And so talk was going to be about Section 230 and YouTube's new low. And Section 230 is protection for Silicon Valley tech giants that have overstepped their boundaries of the power. It is a huge screw up, because when you have these companies that are making billions of dollars every year and have went beyond to censor now YouTube. Ted Cruz, let's see here, I can find here. Ted Cruz had a rant. I mean, a real rant, and went after let's see here. Just went after tech company. I mean, just went after YouTube. I mean, anybody that uploads a video, talks about the election results as well as the hearings in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Georgia, Arizona, as well as Nevada, and talk about election fraud, Biden's false win, or whatever you want to call it. Your video will be taken down. And Ted Cruz talked about how the CEO of YouTube went in his office and talked about Crowder, louder with Crowder. And I mean, he said that she talked about how he didn't really violate any of the YouTube's community guideline, but they ended up demonetizing him anyway. There was a reporter from Vox who called out Crowder for supposedly being a homophobic, and didn't really violate any rules, but Crowder and his Vox reporter start going at it. Crowder's a comedian. He's a French Canadian conservative. And guys, the guy's funny. The guy's funny. Um, it's an area where you're producing content, and I mean anybody who sees his stuff, his content, will automatically just. I mean, it could be anybody who sees his content, and just go nuts. Like, how could he say that? We need to get him off there. We need to remove all this shit. That they already demonetized Crowder, and now it's a. Let's see here. Um, I think there's an error in judgment. You got to take a step back. Take a step back, because if YouTube start doing this, they're starting to really at a new low. At a new low. Newer, well, it's not new. It's lower than low. Lower than low. It's huge lower than low. Because I mean, you gotta understand. I mentioned this before. 9 years ago, I came on to YouTube. I thought it'd be good to come on here, talk about anything. And when I did, I didn't know how far I would go. It's been 9 years. It's been 9 years. November 17th, 2011. November 17th, 2011. And I started to see new channels coming in, new content. But down the line, YouTube started to change. I didn't know if for good, bad, or for the worse. Within the last 5 years, it's been kind of good, bad, and worse. The worst part is that there's within mid-July of 2016 and now, there's been over 60, 70 channels purged by YouTube heads. Here you have Susan Wachiki, with their head up her ass, tells Texas Senator Ted Cruz about all this. They're going to go and they're going to remove videos and content, anything talking about the election result, which we all know it became really funky, very, very funky. November 3rd at 8 o'clock, supposed to stop. But at 4 a.m., 4th, 5th, and 6th at 4 a.m., started to change. Then we hear about the glitch. computer software glitch. Then we hear about intimidation. Threats. And you name it. There's been a death already. A death. The boyfriend of the daughter of the governor of Georgia. The boyfriend, the governor of Georgia's daughter was dating a guy who was working on a campaign. He died in a car wreck. Didn't make it. He was only 20, 21 years old. young kid. 20, 21, still young. He was my son's age. Then there's been threats against witnesses. A Michigan State representative, not just on live TV, but also on Facebook Live. And then again, she doubled down on those threats, which she should have known better to do. People are getting doxxed. Their families getting their lives threatened. Their children's lives are getting threatened. Their friends, co-workers, they're losing their jobs over this. Families are breaking up, are splitting up because of this shit. Friends are losing friendships over this shit. Now the glitches was first heard. The Dominion machines were being ran on the internet. And then all of a sudden, we were told that they weren't, from a witness that said that she was told, oh, they're not internet. They're just connected somehow. But you can take your phone and you can go to settings and you can go to Wi-Fi. Okay? Wi-Fi. And on your phone, you can look for any network. Any network. And nobody's dumb. Hit your Wi-Fi, all of a sudden, wow, that's and one network you see, wow, looks like the machines are connected to something. Something. So that's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. If you stand by one of the machines, again, you hit Wi-Fi device, and you can hit any network. You can look for any network that's nearby. Because your phone can be used as an iPod, like an iPod. If there's no if there's no SIM card, you could on your phone hit the Wi-Fi thing. Wow, it's and it's very, very, very funny how they say, well, how they're told, like, were told, oh, there's no internet. but they see this big thing and it's connected to the machines, Dominion machine. The machines that's owned by Dominion were connected to the internet. That means these machines can be hacked. You can hack these machines remotely if you're tech savvy. If you're a tech savvy person, and you can remote hack machines because they're connected to the internet. You could log on your device to the machine, and you could go in that internet network the machines are attached to. And there's been plenty of witnesses that wanted to testify. Wow, it's there's some issue there. Again, there's the threats, intimidation. There's a Zoom meeting where a member of the people that worked in one of the places where the voting was taking place, and this guy threatened to dox two people, their names, their addresses, you name it, where they lived, where they worked, where their parents lived and worked, where their kids went to school, you name it. These were threats. These were threats. Why threaten somebody? I've said this before. Politics is bullshit. And it is bullshit. Because you think, here you they planned this. The Democrats wanted Biden to run. Who's running along with them? Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, who else? Michael Bloomberg, the New York mayor, Tulsi Gabbard, that Beto O'Rourke, Pete, that guy's name, Pete something or the other, Warren, and all of a sudden, Andrew Yang, all of a sudden, they were bowing out one by one. And they were giving Tulsi Gabbard a hard time because she was spewing truth on live TV. And the DNC didn't like that. Did not like that because she kept talking about regime change. We need to stop the regime change issue around the world. We've been doing it for years, and we've been doing it ever since. And they wouldn't let her compete, participate in the other primaries and shit, And so all of a sudden, you started to see more people bow out, and all of a sudden put their support behind Joe Biden. Again, they screwed over Bernie Sanders. What happened to Warren? Warren was a good candidate too. All of a sudden, Beto O'Rourke bowed out. Oh, here's a guy. He said, "Yeah, yeah, we're gonna go through your guns. We're gonna go through your AR-15s, your AK-40. Then all of a sudden, everybody was distancing themselves away from World War. And all of a sudden, Tulsi Gabbard was gone, Yang was gone, Sanders. All of a sudden, why did Bernie leave? Bernie could have stayed and really be a thorn in Biden's side here. No, they needed Biden to run so they could use him as a pawn, as a puppet, for Kamala Harris. So they have all these plans way ahead of time. You have the same machines, the Dominion voting machines that they used 4 years ago in the 2016 election, which Hillary lost. Could we repeat 20 years ago? Could we repeat 20 years ago? Okay. 20 years ago, Al Gore won the election because Dan Rather, stupid as himself, dumb motherfucker, automatically just gave Florida to Gore. The electors didn't call it. Fucking the media did, just like Fox News with the Arizona issue, dude, shit. Now, Gore was president-elect for what, 37 days, and all of a sudden the Supreme Court came in and said, nope, because Bush had it. He was kicking Gore's ass. Just like the president was kicking Biden's ass. And all of a sudden, when 8 o'clock came around on the 3rd of November, should have stopped. But after 4 a.m., then began, all of a sudden, 100,000 votes was in Michigan, Wisconsin, and shit. Like, what the fuck, All of a sudden, 4 a.m. on the 5th, 4 a.m. on the 6th, Biden was taking more leads and shit, and then all of a sudden, like, they started to talk about anomalies, glitches. A woman, an elderly woman, came forward and said that she went in to vote in person, but the people at the polling place said, "You already voted. Go away." Someone stole her mail-in ballot, filled it out, her ballot, her mail-in ballot thing. They even took her roommate's mail-in ballot, filled it out. Because this elderly woman, every election, votes in person. That's kind of strange, don't you think? It's kind of strange. So now we're hearing that YouTube is going to remove any video, any or all videos that talk about this. Is it voter fraud? In my opinion, honestly, yeah, it's voter fraud. President Trump won the election, and it was stolen through fraud. Now, if YouTube doesn't like the truth here, because they're so far fucking left, so far left that their ass is touching the edge of the Grand Canyon, which is about to fall in face first. What if it's true? What if it's true? YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. These left-wing, non-knee, gin-soaked wall fuckers and shit want to stop. YouTube wants to remove, censor, demonetize anybody who's talking about this. You know? Now, Section 230 was enacted years ago. I think it was part of the DMC or DMCA or the Digital Millennial Copywriting Act or something like that. See, what is Section 230? Let me see here. Let me see here. Let me see. Section 230. Okay, let me my glasses here. Glasses. Section 230. Let me see here. What is Section 230? Section 230 is a piece of internet legislation in the United States passed into law, part of the Communications Decency Act, CDA. In 1996, formally codified as Section 230 of the Communication Act of 1934 at 47 U.S.C. Code 230. Section 230 generally provides immunity for website publishers from third-party content. As core, Section 230 C1 provides immunity from liability for providers and users of an interactive computer service who publish information provided by third-party users. No provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as a publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. Section 230 C2 further provides goods merchant protection from civil liability from operators of interactive computer services in the removal or moderate of third-party material that deemed obscene or offensive. Even constitutionally protected free speech as long as it is done in good faith. Section 230 is developed in response to pair lawsuits against ISP internet service providers, ISPs, in the early 90s that had different interpretations of whether the service providers should be treated as publishers or distributors of content created by its users. After passage of the Telecommunication Act, the CDA was challenged in court and ruled by the Supreme Court v. Reno versus American ACLU in 1997 to be partially unconstitutional, leaving the Section 230 provisions in place since then. Several legal challenges have validated the constitutionality of Section 230. Section 230 protection are not less, requiring providers to still remove material illegal on a federal level, such as copywriting infringement. In 2018, Section 230 was amended by Stop Enable Sexual Offenders Act, FOSTA-SESTA, FOSTA-SESTA, to require removal of material violating federal and state sex trafficking laws in the following year. Protection from Section 230 have come under more scrutiny on issues related to hate speech and ideological biases in relation to the power technical companies. Power tech companies can hold on political discussions. Hey, I'll make some spaghetti. Okay. Let's see here. Relations to the power tech companies can hold on political discussions and became a major issue during the 2020 U.S. presidential election. Passed in time when internet use was just starting to expand in both breadth of service and range of consumers in the United States. Section 230 has frequently been referred as a key law that has allowed the internet to flourish and called the 26 words that created the internet. Now, the application elements. Section 230 has two primary parts, both listed under 230C as the goods portion of the law. Section 230C1, as identified above, defines information service providers should not be treated as a publisher or a speaker of information from another provider. Section 230C2 provides immunity from civil liabilities of information service providers that remove and restrict content from their service they deem obscene, lewd, lascivious, filthy, excessively violent, harassing, or otherwise objectionable, whether or not the material is constitutionally protected as long as they act in good faith in this section. Okay. Okay, there was in 2016, in the mid 2016, courts have issued conflicting decisions regarding the scope of intellectual property. It's also set forth of Section 230E2 for example, Perfect 10 Inc. versus CC Bill LLC. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that a section of intellectual property claims such as copyright for infringement, trademark infringement, and patents, reversing a district court ruling that an exception applies to state law rights to publicly claim. The Ninth Circuit Court in Perfect 10 conflicts with conclusions from the court, including Doe versus Friend Finder Court, specializing, discussed, and rejecting the lower court's reading of intellectual property in CC Bill and held that immunity did not reach state right of publicly claims. In addition to the passage of the DMC, which is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act in '98, service providers must comply with additional requirements for copyright infringement and maintain safe harbor protection from liability as defined DMCA's Title II online copyright infringement liability um, online copyright infringement liability limitation act. So there's okay, now Section 330 immunity is unlimited. The statute specializes except federal criminal liability, which is 230E1, electronic privacy violations, 230E4, and the intellectual property claims, 230E2. There are history. Early challenges was the Xeron versus AOL in 1997 to 2008. The first major challenge of Section 230 itself was Xeron versus AOL. 1997 case decided that a Fourth Circuit case that involved a person that sued AOL, American Online, for failing to remove in a timely manner a libelous ad posted by AOL users that improperly connected his home phone number to Oklahoma City bombing. The court found that for AOL and upheld the constitutional of Section 230, stated that Section 230 creates a federal immunity from any cause of action that would make service providers liable for information originating with third-party users of the service. The court asserted in its ruling Congress rationale for Section 230 was to give internet service providers broad immunity to remove disincentives for the development and utilization of blocking and filtering technologies that empowered parents to restrict their children's access to objectable or inappropriate online material. In addition, Xeron noted the amount of information communicated via the internet and interactive computer services is staggering. The specter of tort liability in the area of such prolific speech would have an obviously chilling effect. It would be impossible for service providers to screen each of their millions of postings for possible problems. Facing possible liability for each message republished by their services, interactive computer services providers might choose to severely restrict the number and type of message posted. Congress considered the weight of the speech, interests implicated, and those to immunize service providers to avoid any such restricted effect. Now, there was an incident about a couple years back. My son was telling me about this. There's this girl. She's about 13, 14 years old. And her parents were going through this huge custody and divorce issue here. First it was the custody bullshit thing here. The mom was letting this girl do what the fuck she wanted. Okay? This girl's appearance, which was the reason why the Maury Puppet Show was canceled. It was canceled because of this episode that this girl was in. 14 years old, the mom let her date an 18-year-old guy. The girl's 14 years old. The boyfriend's 18. The mom let her date this guy. The dad didn't like the idea. The mom accused the dad of some stupid shit, which there's no evidence of. Now, this girl and her boyfriend kept airing their shit on Instagram. Right? There is a point that if you are showing your dumb shit on social media and people are seeing the shit, and you have idiots, you have pedophiles that are just glued to this chick, young lady, young girl here. The mom's letting it happen. Mom ain't doing shit about it. Okay, the girl's dating an 18-year-old guy, 18-year-old adult, just turned 18. The fuck, dude. Now, somebody should step in, but it didn't happen. Did not fucking happen. The Maury Povich Show has been on TV for a long time. It had weird segments. It had Who's Your Daddy? A paternity test and shit. All kinds of crap. From paternity test bullshit to all kinds of. Basically, it was a mild Jerry Springer. So my son told me, how the mom ain't. I mean, she used her head. She's letting her daughter date this 18-year-old kid guy, and they're doing God knows what. The guy can go to prison for statutory rape and shit of this girl. And it's just that all this crap. But 6230 needs to be reformed where if you're a company like Facebook or Twitter, you cannot be a publisher at all. Facebook and Twitter have violated Section 230 on one occasion. Google has done the same thing. They violated Section 230. So let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see here. And Facebook's not a publisher. Twitter's not a publisher. Twitter and Facebook are supposed to be like Twitter is supposed to be a communication, okay? Because the founder of Twitter said, no, it's another communication news. Twitter can be used to tweet news, communicate with other people. But Jack Dorsey and other dumb shit stole Twitter from the founder, the guy that came up with Twitter. These two idiots totally pushed him out of the way. They stole Twitter from this guy. Let's see who. Let's see here again. Let's see here. See here. Let's see here. Who? Let's see here. Okay. Noah Glass, an American technology entrepreneur best known for his early work launch on Twitter and Odeo, a podcasting company that closed in 2007. Okay. Noah Glass was a founder. He's a guy that after leaving light industrial light and magic, Glass worked on several projects with Mark Cantor, founder of Micromind. That later became Micromedia, birthplace of Shockwave and later Flash animation media software. Glass later developed an application that allows users to enter an audio blog entry with a remote cell phone location. His small startup known as Oddblog, which eventually folded into a partnership with Evan Williams of blog.com and Duo then created Odeo, a podcasting company. In 2006, Glass helped create and develop the same idea that will eventually become known as Twitter. Not only was Glass the prime motivating force leading to several developments, he acknowledged as being responsible for coining the name Twitter, which began as a abbreviated version of Twitter, TWTTR, and was later changed to Twitter. In the book, Hatching Twitter, the Nick Bilton, Glass was given credit for being a co-founder of Twitter, have helped recognize the idea and design some of its core features. Let me see here. Let's see here. Now this is a so there was a huge, you know, Twitter was supposed to be a blog type platform, but became something different since Jack Dorsey and his other dipshit booted Noah Glass from what he did. In my opinion, he's the main guy that did that founded Twitter. He's he get more credit for, but he got screwed over. Think it's bullshit. And right, folks, it's a good old Grandmaster Revenue. I want to say I'm gonna kind of put the turkey in the oven. If you're new to this channel, please share, like, subscribe, comment below, hit the bell for notification, and if you've got the transmission, you are the resistance. I'm Grandmaster Evan. Knowledge is free. Knowledge is power. Always stay healthy, well, and wise. I love you guys. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.